Happy day. Welcome to Question and Answers, episode number 9. This one is entirely dedicated to Francis Barnett, who always asks some cool questions. Sometimes leaves me without answers, as is the case today. If you have questions that you want answered, just curious, my opinion about any subject you can think of, I don't care. I'll do my best to answer you. Francis asked I think 5 or 6 questions. I didn't write them down, so this is all from potential memory. He asked if either one of our kids had ever given their mother a lanyard, as in the lanyard spoken of in the poem of the same name. Who's the author, I forget, but search for lanyard poem on YouTube and you'll find it. Pretty entertaining. They have not given her one of those, but they've given her many other little things very similar to that, as we all have, I'm sure. I have stuff hanging on my bedroom wall that's 6, 8, 10 years old that the kids gave me, little pictures that they drew and stuff like that. So that brought back some good memories. Then he asked if I've ever done anything that I immensely enjoyed and then for whatever reason never did it again. And his example was flying a box kite. The only thing that really comes to mind was bungee jumping. I did that when I was probably, I don't know, I'm guessing 22, 23 years old. Whenever it was popular. Took me up on a 175-foot crane and pushed me off the edge with a rubber band tied to my butt. Good times. I thoroughly enjoyed the experience, but I never considered doing it again. He asked about apparently I've got a jackhammer outside my fence this morning. He asked about anesthesia, coming out of anesthesia and, saying something stupid. I have not done that I'm aware of. I've never been told of anything that I said that was unusual. They had a real hard time waking me up after my last back surgery. They kept telling me to breathe and I just kept falling back to sleep. My wife, however, was at the dentist. And just to walk up to the desk and make an appointment, she has to have Novocaine or laughing gas or whatever. So they had gassed her up to do something. I don't know what it was. Nurse asked her if she was doing okay. She said, "Strawberry feels forever." I get the biggest kick out of that. So that's my only anesthesia story. Then he asked about a musician whose name I have forgotten. He was a pop pop artist in the 60s with his brothers, or brother, one of the, I don't remember. But anyway, sang "The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine on Me Anymore." The sun ain't gonna shine anymore. He had a rather prolific career, and then he evolved into an avant-garde something. I don't know what you would call it. I was largely unfamiliar with his work, and I listened to several examples, and I would have to say that's a great example of what you're talking about. Someone whose career just absolutely shifted 180 degrees. The only other examples of that I can think of, and they're not even good examples, were from people whose primary role was in heavy metal. One of them is Ronnie James Dio. Some loud airplanes out here. Ronnie James Dio was almost like a bubblegum pop act in the 60s, and then he transformed into Ronnie James Dio, Black Sabbath and Rainbow and all that stuff. So that was a kind of a weird change. The other one was also from Rainbow, Deep Purple. That was Ritchie Blackmore. He played some heavy stuff with those two bands, and then decided he wanted to play Celtic rock music. Just a completely different sound from anything he's ever done, and he's put out quite a few albums in that genre. So that's a little unusual. And the third one I thought of was a guitarist for a band called Testament, whose name just escaped me as I said that. Alex Skolnick. Testament could probably, in a lot of people's eyes, be included as one of the 5 or 6 Godfather type acts of modern heavy metal. Megadeth, Metallica, Slayer, Anthrax, those kind of bands. He left Testament back in the, I guess it was the early 2000s or somewhere in there, and decided to pursue a solo jazz guitar career. He's a fantastic guitar player. He put out, I think, 4 albums or something in that genre, just solo jazz guitar. Quite a departure from what he was used to playing, or from what we were used to hearing. So that's about all I got for that one. Nothing as big of a departure as the one that you mentioned. That was very unusual. As I was listening to some of his stuff, I was like, wow, he just completely changed. One other similar example of that is Mark Mothersbaugh from Devo, from the band Devo. He has become one of the most prolific film score artists. TV, movie, whatever. He does a bunch of stuff for like, what was some of the recent ones I've seen? I think he did Thor, Ragnarok. He did the Transylvania, the cartoon, Disney, whatever it is. He's done a bunch of stuff. Very similar to the guy from Oingo Boingo, where he transformed into a film score. Professional. I can't really come up with another word for it. They're absolutely fantastic at what they do with film. And I can hear it when I'm watching a movie. We took our kids to, Pixar and stuff like that, and when I hear a movie that he's done, I can tell it. And then seeing his name in the credits, it's like I knew that was him. The one other question you asked that I remember, there may have been another one, and I either didn't have an answer for it or I've forgotten the question. The other one was, who would I be most starstruck by if I were just to meet them on the street? I thought a lot about that one. I've met a lot of people, celebrity kind of people, and almost every one of them have been just really down-to-earth, normal, everyday people. I mean, some of them you wouldn't expect to be that way. Kevin Costner, Alice Cooper. But they were. And I think a lot of the people that I viewed, like when I was a kid, as heroes, if I had gotten the chance to meet them, I think I would have felt the same way about them. Like, one of them is the race car driver, now he's an owner, Richard Petty, just a regular guy from North Carolina. So people like that, I don't think I would be starstruck by them, because I feel like they give off a feeling like you've known them for a while, or they've known you for a while. They're just, genuine people. I think the people, though, to answer your question, that I would probably be like, wow, if I, came across them on the street, would probably be like Paul McCartney, Eric Clapton, Steve Winwood, maybe. Those are really the only people that I can really think of that I might not have a lot in common with, other than just being a big fan of their music. So anyway, thanks for all the questions, as always. You keep this thing going in a lot of ways, so I appreciate the questions. So until next time, if there is a next time, enjoy your pipes. Ignore the hype. Take care.